Long before the Tiger became a symbol of armored terror, German engineers were already shaping the idea of a heavy breakthrough tank. In the late 1930s, the concept was modest a 30-ton support vehicle with a 75mm gun and 50mm of armor. Nothing suggested it would evolve into the most feared machine of the early war. The transformation began after the French campaign. German command realized their assumptions were outdated. Enemy armor was getting heavier, thicker, tougher. Requirements swelled, and the once simple project grew into a monster of steel. Hitler personally demanded the 88mm gun be used, turning the design into a weapon meant to dominate. By 1941, the Tiger project existed before the Germans even knew about the T-34. The myth that the Tiger was a reaction to Soviet armor is false. It was approved months before Barbarossa. The companies Porsche and Henschel raced to build it, with Henschel winning. In 1942, the first Tigers rolled out, ready to carve their legend.
So the Tiger wasn't a counter to Soviet tanks at all. Then why did its legend grow so fast later?
When the Tiger finally entered real combat in late 1942, its strengths and weaknesses emerged instantly. The 88mm KWK-36 gun was unmatched. At typical battle ranges, no Allied or Soviet tank could reliably penetrate the Tiger's frontal armor, while the Tiger could destroy them far beyond their effective range. Its optical sights, superior even by late war standards, allowed German crews to fire precisely at distances many opponents considered impossible. Yet every advantage came with a hidden cost. The vehicle's enormous weight, over 56 tons, made it mechanically fragile. Final drives, suspension wheels, and transmissions were under immense stress. Even when not under fire, Tigers frequently broke down simply from long marches, forcing crews to repair them under battlefield pressure.
So it was powerful, but its own weight was already a problem.
Exactly, and logistics multiplied that problem. Most bridges in Europe could not support a 56-ton tank. Large movements required engineering units, detours, or specialized ferrying equipment. Getting a Tiger to the battlefield often cost more time and fuel than operating an entire company of medium tanks. Even its transportation tracks had to be swapped before long road march to reduce pressure on the wheels, an exhausting process often taking hours. But when the Tiger did reach the battlefield intact, it became a psychological weapon. Allied reports routinely described engagements where a single Tiger stalled entire armored advances, forcing commanders to call for airstrikes or artillery before daring to approach. To inexperienced crews, the Tiger appeared invincible, and its ability to shrug off dozens of non-penetrating hits only strengthened the myth.
So crews feared it even before facing it directly?
Yes, and that myth grew rapidly during 1943. On the Eastern Front, Tigers helped stabilize collapsing sectors after Stalingrad. Small detachments of just a few vehicles broke Soviet infantry assaults, destroyed columns of T-34s, and acted as mobile fire brigades. The Tiger's design, once doubted as overly heavy, proved effective in defensive actions, where long-range firepower mattered more than mobility. But the Soviets adapted quickly. Dedicated 85mm guns, massed artillery, mines, and new tactics emerged. The Tiger remained deadly, but no longer unchallenged. In the West, Allied tankers suffered similar shock when encountering Tigers in Normandy. Despite new weapons like the Firefly or M36 Jackson, early battlefield encounters often ended with catastrophic losses until crews learned to flank the Tiger or overwhelm it with coordinated fire.
The Tiger. I did not decide the outcome of the war, but it shaped every battlefield it entered. By 1944, its armor was no longer unmatched, but its psychological impact remained enormous. Soldiers described the same reaction across every front. When a Tiger appeared, everything changed. It was not just a tank, it was a symbol of inevitability, a machine that carried fear with it. The 88mm gun allowed German crews to destroy Allied tanks long before they could respond. While excellent optics made the Tiger deadly at extreme distances, many encounters felt hopelessly one-sided, as Allied crews were often hit before they even saw the Tiger. Yet these strengths came with crippling weaknesses. The immense weight of the vehicle strained its engine, transmission, and suspension. The Tiger was infamous for throwing tracks, overheating, and breaking down at the worst possible moments: mud, snow, steep hills. and long marches defeated more Tigers than enemy fire ever did. Logistics became a nightmare. Enormous quantities of fuel, spare parts, and recovery vehicles were needed to keep even a single company operational. On the Eastern Front, the Tiger forced the Red Army to accelerate development of heavy tanks like the IS-2, as well as new anti-tank guns capable of piercing its armor. On the Western Front, its mythology exploded after the Battle of Villa-Bocage, where Michael Whitman's Tiger destroyed a British column. The story was later exaggerated, but it cemented the Tiger as a monster in Allied imagination. By late 1944, air superiority made the Tiger increasingly vulnerable, and many were destroyed by aircraft before they even reached combat. Still, even disabled or abandoned Tigers created shock among advancing troops. In the end, the Tiger became a symbol of German engineering brilliance and its fatal flaws. It was powerful but unreliable, terrifying but rare, technologically advanced but economically unsustainable. Only 1350 were built, far too few to influence the war's outcome, but its psychological imprint outlasted its battlefield value. The Tiger's legacy is not that it was the best tank of the war, but that it became unforgettable, a machine that turned ordinary battles into legends. The Tiger remains one of the most analysed machines of World War II because it embodied the paradox of German warfare, unmatched tactical strength beside catastrophic strategic weakness. On the battlefield, crews who mastered the Tiger operated with near-surgical precision. Many veterans described the feeling of invincibility the tank could temporarily give, the confidence that no enemy round could penetrate the front armour, the knowledge that their 88mm gun could eliminate threats before danger even approached. But commanders quickly learned that the Tiger's greatest enemy was not the Sherman or the T-34, but time, distance and terrain. Every kilometre travelled increased the chance of a mechanical failure. Every day of combat drained fuel reserves that Germany could no longer replace. Every breakdown required recovery vehicles that were themselves slower, weaker, and often destroyed before reaching the stranded Tiger. As the war dragged on, German units began abandoning Tigers simply because towing them was impossible under Allied pressure. This reveals the core truth. The Tiger was never designed for a long, attritional conflict fought across continents. It was a weapon built for decisive blows in a war Germany could not win decisively. Its armour and firepower were spectacular, but the tank could not be everywhere, and when it wasn't, its absence mattered more than its presence. Throughout 1944 and 1945, Tigers fought delaying actions rather than offensives, serving as mobile strongpoints, buying hours or days at the cost of machines that Germany could not replace. Their fearsome reputation often forced Allied forces to overcommit artillery, aircraft or multiple armoured units just to neutralise a single Tiger. In this sense, the tank achieved more through intimidation than destruction. Yet the crews inside paid the price, isolated, outnumbered, often fighting in conditions where no amount of armour could change the outcome. When Germany finally collapsed, only fragments of Tiger units remained. Most machines lost to breakdowns, lack of fuel, or deliberate demolition. And still, long after the war ended, the myth grew larger than the machine. Books, films, and video games transformed the Tiger into the embodiment of armoured warfare, overshadowing the thousands of more practical vehicles that actually shaped the conflict. This is the Tiger's final paradox, a tank that failed strategically but triumphed symbolically, a machine remembered not for what it accomplished, but for what it represented: power, fear, ambition, and the ultimate futility of building a perfect weapon for an unwinnable war.